going on? We are back in black in the building. Oh man, we made it back another day. Shout out to everybody at the corporate plantation doing what they need to do to survive. Roll call. You already know. Hey, Vegas, stand up. All my siblings in Vegas, stand up. Shawnee, Philly, stand up. Erica, Florida, aka Florida, in the building, stand up. My brother James Youngblood from Texas, stand up. My brother Dave from No Compromise, stand up. And my homegirl Melina from North Carolina, aka North Kakalaka, stand up. Man, we got a great one. It ain't what you think it's gonna be. The Diddy dance. So we gonna talk about it today. I knew they was gonna do this. I knew they was gonna do it. So let's get into it. I knew they was gonna do it. Pardon me, I'm drinking some anise tea. Gotta drink that anise tea. Oh, y'all already know. Yeah, look, we gonna get into it. I hope everybody had a great weekend and did what they need to do, whatever. Pay the bills and do all this other shit, you know. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. This does not surprise me. I told y'all, he knows something and got something on somebody, and they definitely trying to get him out the paint. And I believe, like before, they sent Cassie to start it off. She was the punt kicker. She was the first leg in a 4x100 relay. So she was the first leg. Okay, you started off. It don't matter. They gonna shit on you. They gonna talk about you. He's gonna pay you because he cares more about his image. This is how the dominant society treat us and how they do us. Right? Okay, so you short, yep, you're gonna get paid, you'll fade away, and then they'll move on. Because the fickle crowd, especially foundational black Americans, they are more focused on other things, and black people in general. They love the bullshit, so don't worry about it. Just put it out there. He's gonna hurry up and settle it. And then if, it goes away too fast, we'll just put the video out of him beating the shit out of you. And if that goes away too fast, we'll just bring him up on charges with the FBI. I try to tell y'all, they are the masters of confusion, as Dave from No Compromise say. Y'all don't put nothing past them. It's so funny how they went with Bill Cosby first, then R. Kelly, who's one of the greatest, I would say the greatest R&B songwriter ever in history. Nobody is messing with R. Kelly as far as his songwriting. Then they got him up out of the paint and stronghold him and strangled his finances to death. Now it's Diddy's turn. The Diddy bop, the Diddy dance. And they know that when they come around, we will scatter like roaches and raid. Remember them raid commercials from the 80s and the 90s? That's us. And a lot of the reason why we're like that, because we've been conditioned to be like that, because we don't treat each other with dignity and respect. Now, Puffy, that is our brother. I am not happy with how he has treated black folk since he's been in the entertainment industry. I am not pleased with that. I vehemently disagree, because I don't think you have to treat your own people like that. But a lot of people get off on treating people like that because they ain't never had power before. So when you have a little bit of power, a little bit of money, sometimes it's more conducive to your overall financial stability to just fall back, and you ain't got to be doing all that. But I think the people that he was around probably was co-signing a lot of that behavior. That's why Gene Deal, his bodyguard, all these people telling all the business now, y'all hoes too. Because you guys are doing it now, because now the money done dried up. So now you want to go out there and tell your little stories and do all that other shit. So I totally disagree with that as well. Let's see what we can find. Let's see what they saying about Diddy, because he got arrested. Okay. Let's see what Fox says. Hold on.
There's just one.
And this is what people need to understand. Elections coming up. They're going to throw everything in the paint because they don't have shit really to talk about with this election. You already know what you're getting from Trump. You already know what you're getting from Kamala. So they like, well, fuck it. Let's throw something else out there.
Talking about this, pleaded not guilty in federal court today.
He is charged with racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Combs reportedly offered $50 million for bail.
And you know what's so funny? Isn't that the charges they brung up on R. Kelly too? Isn't that the same charges? Isn't that what they did with R. Kelly too? When they couldn't get him on other shit because ain't nobody was going to come out and really talk. That's what they really didn't like. So what they did was with the R. Kelly situation, they used those FBA girls' parents that were desperate for money. And then they use other black folk that are not kinfolk, but they black folk, do a documentary and use it as a tool for the dominant society so they can go in there and just take over. And those was the same charges. Oh, well, you were racketeering and you were running a sex trafficking ring. And I was like, man, what? Now that? Y'all done waited till this man and made them record labels and all them dominant society people billions of dollars and now y'all want to arrest them? That's what I don't like about the dominant society. That's what I don't like about law enforcement. Law enforcement is full of shit. First of all, y'all know, for you Democratic people out there that are, just Democrats to the day they die and all this other stuff, y'all do know that whether it's a Republican or Democrat, they were the same ones that allowed J. Edgar Hoover to run the FBI for 40 years, and he orchestrated the assassination of Malcolm X and Fred Hampton, and he broke up the Black Panthers. Do y'all not know that by now? Ain't nobody reading shit? So J. Edgar Hoover, along with Chicago PD, orchestrated this master plan. They had a plant within the Black Panther Party organization, the Chicago chapter, and they basically killed him in his sleep, shot him dead. They orchestrated that. Fred Hampton was like 21 years old when they killed him. 21, because he was fighting for equality. And your law enforcement, the people that the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, none of them have signed anti-FBA hate crime bill, which means if somebody shoots you or kills you or harms you because you are black, then that should trigger the Department of Justice to say, no, we're persecuting you to the full extent of the law. You got to do it. It reminds me of reading this book, In the Matter of Color. When you read the book at first, you're like, man, what the fuck is this? But then when you start reading, you're like, oh, these are all the laws that they were making up in the 1800s. This is all the bullshit that they got together and was like, oh, these laws are going to go on for hundreds of years. We'll be long dead and gone, and they'll still be abiding by these sucker-ass rules that only apply to the dumb niggas. So I just thought I would let you know that. Yes, am I disgusted with Puff Daddy and how he treated all his black folk around him? Yeah, I'm disgusted with him. Is everybody else disgusted with him? Yes. Did Puff Daddy, nobody got in his ear and told him, man, you better chill out. That's because he had a lot of yes men around him. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If he do beat this, like I said, all those people that was distancing themselves from him, oh, he going to get y'all for real. Because he knows something. But let's see what they're saying.
Prosecutors argued he shouldn't be released. Ultimately, the judge agreed, refusing to grant bail and sent Combs to jail while he awaits trial. Diddy is fighting 5 lawsuits and 3 sexual misconduct cases, too. He maintains he is innocent in all the cases. Prosecutors say the details of the criminal case are disturbing.
As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent. And he subjected victims.
And you notice they put all his business out. I don't agree with none of this. But do y'all notice David, James, Shawnee, Erica, everybody that's listening, do y'all notice they putting all this man's business out there? But when it was Harvey Weinstein, and you know there was an actual audio recording of what Harvey Weinstein was doing, like a recording of him full court pressing a woman to take that damn pussy, and they scrubbed the internet of that. Because I remember when it first came out, I was right on YouTube like, I'm going to look this shit up. And I played it about 10 times. And the whole time, this is what Harvey Weinstein was doing to the woman. He was like, oh, sit down. Let me make you a drink. Sit down. Just get relaxed. The girl kept saying, I'm uncomfortable. I don't really want to drink. He's like, just let me make you a drink. Let me give you a massage. Let me just sit down. He kept saying that over and over again. And she kept saying, I don't feel comfortable. I want to leave. No. What are you leaving for? What the fuck are you leaving for? Come on, just sit down on the bed. Sit down next to me. Let me give you a rub and give you a drink and relax you a little bit. Just let me do that. This is what he was doing. But I bet you can't find it on the internet now. Just thought I would let you know that. And they not putting that shit out there. And Harvey Weinstein's case is still going on. You notice every time Harvey Weinstein come up, they bring Diddy up, or they do a fucking Bill Cosby, or they do a R. Kelly. I know it's hard for black folk to kind of be on cold with Diddy because he has done some atrocious shit to black folk at the behest of the dominant society giggling and laughing, because they're not going to come in there and be like, you know what, you shouldn't do that. They like it when black folk denigrate other black folk and do that. They like that. And let me tell you something, the FBI, they are their tool. They don't work for you. Oh, you think they work for the American people? No, the FBI works for who is holding power. Who's holding power? The dominant society, the wealthy motherfuckers. That's who they report to. Remember Robert Smith, that billionaire, paid for all them kids' tuition? No, he paid for all their college debt. That graduating class, basically, he did a speech. It was like, all your debt is paid. So you're going to just go into the world debt free. They brung him up on charges right after that. So don't tell me they don't know what they're doing.
It's a physical, emotional, and verbal abuse.
Now, TMZ has been covering this story very closely. Michael Babcock is joining us now to talk about what they know as they have been following this story. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Sylvia. Hey, Terrence. Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's just get right to it. How's Diddy reacting to everything that's going on right now? What have you guys heard?
Well, his attorney says he's in good spirits, but let's be honest here. Diddy's life is on the line. I mean, you were talking about incredibly serious federal charges, one of them being sex trafficking that could quite literally carry a life sentence in prison. So, again, while his attorney says Diddy is happy to be in this position because it's going to afford him the opportunity to, they say, to clear his name, he is sitting in a jail cell right now. He could be sitting in a jail cell for the foreseeable future. And like we just said, could be facing decades or more in prison if ultimately convicted. The attorney says that he's an imperfect person like we all are, but that he's not a criminal, that he's not a violent person.
Thank you. Put it all out there. And let me tell you, I don't excuse none of that shit or whatever. Everybody's different. But let me tell you something. Women, men, you get with these women got money. You know what you signed up for. And if you didn't know, you better ask these broads what you signed up for. Women, stop selling that pussy hole to these niggas that got this money. Now, if you young and you don't know, you need to seek guidance from other people. Don't just assume you know what you're doing. And I'm saying it not because of the puffy thing. I'm saying it, period. Like, I think a lot of times we feel like because this person has money, because this person got clout and status, like, I don't want to go back to that. And I understand that. Because let me tell you something. If I came across a woman, and she had access to power and money, I don't know. We'll just be some fighting motherfuckers. I'm just saying, like, it's different when you're broke and you go to having money. You got to look at it from both perspectives. Everybody can be like, I wouldn't deal with that. Oh, okay, right. You know what I told somebody? I said, right. This is what I miss about these conversations we would have at my mom's house every weekend. Oh, this would be a big conversation because it would be all of them against me. Sometimes my older sister would be laughing and be like, nah, Warren probably right on that one, but it's a lot of women in my family, so it'd be me and my nephews. They'd just be laughing at me. But I'm always come from the perspective of it's different. If a person comes up to you, right, and you work in a corporate plantation job that we always talk about, and that corporate plantation is just doing you dirty, shitty. Every day you're stressed, high blood pressure. You can't think. You can't enjoy your life at all. And then somebody comes along and they can change that whole dynamic with a snap of a finger from an infinity stone type of situation. Yeah, you gonna think long and hard for a minute, but then you gonna be like, fuck that. We'll just be some fighting motherfuckers. Every woman is different. Every man is different. Some women will be like, well, we just gonna be some fighting motherfuckers because I'm not giving up this money and I'm not giving up my prestige and shit that I done worked hard for. And then there's some women that's like, all right, I'm getting out of it. I can't do it. It's too much. I'm not saying to have no domestic bullshit going on because nobody is perfect. But what I'm saying is I want y'all, the people that listen to this podcast, subjectively, you have to be like, man, we can say that shit right now. We could definitely be like, oh, Diddy was wrong. Oh, this and that. Oh, he was wrong. Until a woman come wagging millions of dollars in access to capital in your face, and they just want you to be with them. But they're gonna be very volatile at times and all that. Some people will be like, well, fuck it. I'll deal with the shit. Because this work shit and working at this corp plantation shit, go work at a corp plantation for 20 years. Go do it for 10, 15 years and then come back and holler at Warren. Don't just assume like, I won't put up that. Go deal with it. Because I know a lot of women, they'll be fighting the nigga back. See, that's why a lot of men, they know that too. A lot of men be like, man, I better not try it with this bitch. This bitch will be some fight motherfuckers. This bitch might throw a pot of hot grease on my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, but every dynamic is different. But what I'm saying is we have to have that type of understanding because we ain't in these people's lives like that. We ain't in their relationships like that. We don't know what they got going on. We don't know what it takes two to tangle. Now, the brunt of the responsibility would be on a person of a puffy because you have access to capital and all that, and you have to conduct yourself a little differently from most people because you have access to capital. But I still believe there's a hidden hand behind all of this.
That he will prove his innocence ultimately in this courtroom.
Yeah, this is all over social media right now. I'm curious, have any of his alleged victims spoken out since his arrest or his day in court today?
Yeah, a lot of people have spoken out, and people who have, in Aubrey O'Day's case, Terrence, been somebody who has for years spoken out when it wasn't the thing to do, and when going against someone as powerful as Diddy, as a member of the music industry, was very detrimental to somebody's career. So Aubrey O'Day has came out and said, I feel validated today. I think you've got to look at Cassie, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, who we saw. For as much as Diddy's attorney wants to say he's not a criminal, she was brutalized in that surveillance videotape from March 2016 at that LA hotel. For somebody like that, who had the courage to file this civil lawsuit against Diddy a couple months back, you've got to feel that there is an incredible sense of relief amongst those people today, as finally they feel like this guy who has run amok for more than a decade here now, violating people.
You know, that's how they add extras, violating. They didn't do that shit with Harvey Weinstein. People were so afraid to even say it. The only people that really was speaking up on that Harvey Weinstein shit was the Judds, Ashley Judd and her peoples, because he was fucking with her wave, and Dame Dash. Dame Dash, Ashley Judd and them, they was the main ones. Even Marlon Wayans and them, they was talking shit about Weinstein too back in the day. I remember Marlon Wayans, and it was somebody. Had to be Marlon who had spoke up on it when it first started. And Dame Dash been going in on Harvey Weinstein about how much of a hoe he was and doing all this sucker shit behind the scenes and sabotaging movies like what they did with the Wayans brother. Like, see, they've been saying it, but everybody was quiet and you know, got the buck in their eyes. Now, I can't say nothing about Massa. Massa's my pair. So I can't not say nothing. I'm just gonna be quiet and do what I gotta do. So you know what that is.
From coast to coast has finally been held to account.
Well, let's talk about that because the rumors have been going strong for some time now. And I know as you guys have looked into this story, you probably have heard things that, weren't reported necessarily recently or weren't being reported at the time that you learned about these things. So this doesn't necessarily come as a surprise to a lot of people, but what's been the general reaction and what have you guys learned historically about what his reputation has been?
Yeah, I would say it's a surprise and it's not at the same time. Look, the federal government put an immense amount of resources, time, effort into this investigation, raiding his house in Beverly Hills, raiding the house in Miami. And you felt like they would not have gone through all that if they did not feel like there was a real case to be made here and they could ultimately get a conviction. So you felt like he was going to get arrested and face charges at some point. You just didn't know when. And when the feds then show up at his hotel room door yesterday and take him into custody, it's surprising. I mean, he is, and obviously, as we all know, he's been one of the most influential people in all of music and celebrities for decades, going back to the 90s. But you've got, at the end of the day here, somebody who is a multimillionaire who runs a business empire, who the feds have said ran these crazy parties where he plied people with alcohol and hard drugs and had them do things on camera that he could then use to keep them in.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? They're not talking about these people. They're not talking about Diddy's relationship. They talking about other people that have power and influence, and they want those tapes. Didn't I tell y'all, David, you knew that. I mean, yeah, we're going to have a live about a lot of this bullshit. What did I say? I said, he got something on somebody. And that's why they doing it. That's why they raided his house. That's why they did that. Because I'm like, man, all of a sudden, Diddy been doing this sucker shit. I'm not condoning it, but man, y'all know, y'all was right there when he was doing it. Clyde David, then all of a sudden, they put the mic in front of Clyde David's face. Now all of a sudden, he got selective amnesia. Now all of a sudden, they got to put him in memory care at a goddamn care center, a convalescent home all of a sudden. But I bet you he'll come out of that goddamn memory care when it's time to divide that Whitney Houston catalog. I bet you that nigga will wake up out of that shit then, won't he? Man, stop.
Line, threaten them with physical violence, or either promise them, benefits to their career, all to keep people in line while he, again, essentially had these parties that just were a violation to the people who attended them. And it's almost incredible to think just that we have watched this person for so long be so successful and be just one of the most beloved celebrities out there. And the federal government says that for more than a decade now, he's been running a racket.
Like I said, we've been hearing from Aubrey O'Day, the former member of DIDDY Kane. Interested and curious to see who else speaks out today. Mike, thanks for joining us, Michael.
Let me cut the music back on. That's all we need to play. I just wanted to play that for y'all so y'all can see. Now all of a sudden, look, let me tell y'all something. If y'all don't think this is a bullshit, look, let me tell you, they could have been did this to Diddy years ago. They could have put that nigga in jail for that shooting in that club when that woman identified his punk ass the whole fucking time. But like Suge Knight said, he's not gonna go to jail. He owes Clive Davis too much money. People could talk all that shit about Suge, but Suge knew. Just like Suge was the main one saying what I was saying. Like, man, he got way too much on certain individuals, and that's exactly why they doing what they doing and raiding his house and doing all that shit. Puffy was smart. He got some shit, and if they keep fucking poking the bear, I guarantee you he gonna air everybody out. He's not going. So all you people, David, James Youngblood, Eric and Shawnee, Tasha, everybody, I'm calling it on this podcast today. Everybody who was around him, with the exception of Cameron, Mace, and the Locks. I'm talking about Cameron, Mace, and Locks. They were the only people. And first of all, Cameron wasn't even really around Puff Daddy like that. He was up under Biggie. And then when Biggie died, he went to Dame because Rivera spent up all the fucking money. Y'all gotta go watch Cameron and listen to a lot of the shit that he say because he explains it to him. That's why he went on that show and was like, I don't never really deal with Diddy, so I didn't hang out with him like that. Mace was up under him, but Mace publicly let it be known what the fuck was going on. This is why our brother Puffy, you should have got it right with Mace behind closed doors. Sometimes you just want to get it right with your peoples. We are in the same race. We're in the same. We are competing against other racial groups. So sometimes you gotta put that shit to the side and get it right with your peoples, so your peoples will have your back, straight up and down. So with the exception of Mace, with the exception of Cameron, with the exception of people like Total, everybody else, you fucked. Because if Puffy go down, all you hoe ass motherfuckers that's going down. I see all you motherfuckers doing interviews and telling all the business all of a sudden. And he was just such a bad guy. I even seen Columbus Short he called me. Man, nigga, stop. You sound even more estrogen driven. Like, what is all that? If you're not saying that shit when the shit is up, then don't say nothing now. What you doing that for now? Oh, to get attention, to get likes, broke, need more money. Man, let me tell y'all something. If y'all don't wake up, you're never gonna understand what's. Stop drinking the blue pill smoothie. Get you the red Mike and Ike's. Please get the red ones, not the blue ones. Never the blue, always the red. And please open up your mind and have an understanding. What's the Bible saying? All I get an understanding. Get an understanding of what's going on. This is the same play they ran on R. Kelly. And we're this close to the election. For one, Kamala ain't got no plan. Trump's plan is the same plan from 2020. What the fuck does he need to change? You either fucking with him or you're not. Kamala don't have no plan. That's why they wanted her to debate again, because she ain't got shit to talk about. So the powers that be that control the media, the dominant society, because I'm so sick of people being like, it ain't racism, white supremacy, it's the Jewish people. No, it's not. It's racism, white supremacy, like we've already been saying, like Neely Fuller Jr. has been stating, like Dr. Franz Cresswell Sr. has been saying. Stop. All this bullshit and all that, they're playing games, and they're playing a big one with foundational Black Americans, and they're using the Diddy case as the right propaganda that they need. Trust me, he's the sacrificial lamb. First it was Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby got that loan paper. So Bill Cosby's like, well, nigga, we just gonna be going to court and going to court with my old ass. And then they had to drop all the charges because y'all was lying. Janice Dickinson committed perjury on the stand. They never prosecuted her. So they had to throw that out because it has been stated that Bill Cosby's house sits on oil, and they want to drill that oil. So they want to drain Bill Cosby's finances so he gets the oil. That's really what it is. That's why they try to put a wedge between him and Camille. Camille is the most downest woman. No, Camille's like, nah, y'all got me fucked up. I'm with him to the day, ride or die, so get the fuck home. I don't give a fuck how many women he was with. Sorry, I earned this. Keep it moving. And then they came to R. Kelly. Now, all these people that were around R. Kelly was R. Kelly's friend until they could no longer be his friend. But with Puffy, it's going to be a different situation. You'll see. Watch. If a person's like, I'll give y'all $50 million to get out on bail, he knows something. I don't care what y'all say. He knows something. $50 million to get out? 50 meal tickets to get out? Oh, you watch everybody that was around, you better retain a lawyer because he taking everybody the fuck down. I'm out. Peace. I can't wait. I am not on Puff Daddy's side, but this is what everybody get for running away. You want to be down to be at all his white parties and all this bullshit? Now what? I'm going to see how many white parties you're going to be at now, because you're going to see a lot of people in Hollywood shaking their boots, because if he go down, they going down. Guilty, nigga. Peace.